What up? What up? What up? It's Ibn Webb, Webb, Quran the Sum here. Official thing situation going down here. Kim Fisher. You don't know how I've been trying to just get him and get a hold of him. While he's enjoying the retirement life, he all over the place, traveling, what have you here. But I was able to catch him sitting still for a quick second. So like I said, I'm so excited to have him. So we're gonna let him talk his talk and let it do what it do. So just hold tight.
Oh, I see it. There
We
we go.
What's up, Kim? How you doing? I finally got you. I don't know how
It's been,
excited I am.
it's been a long time, right? We've been trying to get this thing together.
Yeah, you don't know how excited. I know the retirement life, as you've been saying, got you traveling everywhere.
Yeah, I'm all
Early
over.
so.
Either I'm
Good.
going to the casino, I'm taking care of the grandkids,
Mhm.
or I got a honey-do list.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That don't never end. So
Right, see.
good. But nah, it's definitely a pleasure to have you on here. What have you? I don't know what you've heard, what you've seen, but it's just been a blessing just to speak to individuals such as yourself and all the other males, females, or what have you here. Like I said, I've just been like floored by all of this. People just willing to share a tiny bit of their world. So, like I said, I'm really glad that I'm able to have you on.
No, I'm happy to finally get together with you. I have seen some of your interviews. A lot of folks I know. I mean, Luke Grimsey. I didn't see Greg. I mean, JoJo Walters.
Oh yes.
So those are some of the people I know pretty well. I mean, actually, Greg and I grew up together.
Okay.
Believe it or
Really?
not, I grew up in the projects on Wilson Place.
Use Wilson Place. Okay.
Yeah, and Greg and he's a year younger than me, but we ended up finishing school at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I moved out, when I was 10,
Okay.
and we moved to East Orange. So that's where my basketball time started, when I moved to East Orange. And we didn't really play much basketball in Orange up until the age of 10. We played baseball.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Nah,
how
interesting. So baseball was first here, huh?
baseball was first, man. I was pretty good too.
Yeah. Did
I
you
wish I was with it.
yeah, nah, we find somewhere to play. And then so Orange to East Orange here, then the whole how many siblings? Your sibling group here?
I got one brother who passed, and he was actually my idol. I mean, his older brother.
Yeah.
He was left-handed. He kind of got me to even start playing left-handed. That's how I became more or less ambidextrous.
Mm-hmm.
I got three sisters. I got one left. Me and my one sister left. So it was five of us all together.
Okay.
And so that's where I am right now.
Yeah. And then being over in East Orange, where in East Orange did you grow up at?
I was on Kenwood Place, right near Washington Park.
Okay. Yeah.
Washington Park, like I said, we played everything. I mean, we played Little League, we played softball, we played football, tackle. We said play tackle on the asphalt.
On the concrete, absolutely.
So, and then eventually basketball came around because it wasn't a big thing then. And the way it happened, going into junior high, 7th grade, it was the thing where you had to be able to make a left-hand layup if you was right-handed or a right-hand layup if you was left-handed. So everybody working over summer, oh man, I want to make the team. And Tom King was the coach at VLD, Vernon L. Davey, junior high school. And that's when my basketball started. Plus my dad put a basketball hoop over the garage. So, I was ready, man. And I was committed. Played a lot. I was out there every night. And eventually, 7th grade, I made the All-Star team. Yeah. So you had All-Stars, you had the Davy Stars, and you had Mighty Men. So it was 3 levels.
Mm-hmm.
And we would play different schools throughout East Orange. And, it was great. It was a great experience, man. And I was always on the top team until I never got cut until I went to the Boston Celtic camp.
We're going to talk about that. But yeah, before all that.
Didn't I jump pretty good there, right?
Yeah, interesting. VLD and all that. Now, obviously, back then, it was like now how it's crazy. Like from probably middle school on, you got these parochials and all that other stuff chasing everybody. That was, had that situation back then. You knew you was going to East Orange High?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. So when you got there, I mean, how was it just,
It was competitive, man. I mean,
Yeah,
all the different parks in East Orange.
yeah.
Everybody was balling, man. And I would stay pretty much at Washington Park or Elmwood Park. I mean, I eventually would go to Elmwood because that's where the real balling was going on.
Yeah.
Although Washington Park, we always called it Washington Park U. We go point guard U because we
Okay.
was about the same height. We was creating point guards at Washington Park.
Hmm.
But Elmwood Park was the park. I mean, if you wanted the ball and you had some game, you go to Elmwood. The
Hmm.
Oval was pretty competitive too, but Elmwood was the spot. So I mean, I would play there, and like I say, from VLD going up, and then once I got to East Orange High,
Hmm.
we continued to play. I mean, we would be in the park all day, Evan.
Yeah, yeah.
All day, man. You look at it now. I go to the parks now, ride by, and you can't even get full court.
Hmm.
I mean, we
Hmm.
would get 5-on-5, and you had maybe 25 people waiting to get next.
Hey, you better not lose. Yeah.
Better not lose, man. You might well go home. So that alone made you more competitive because you want to get off. You get people calling, making crazy calls too, right? End of the game, oh, he carried, oh, body. It was like crazy calls that you don't even hear now in the NBA.
Hmm.
It's like, but they got different versions of those calls. So it was crazy, man, but it was fun. I enjoyed it.
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
enjoyed it.
playing on the team. Did you play freshman year? Did you play?
I played freshman, and then I played, my freshman year. And then JV, I was my sophomore year, I played JV. And my junior year, I was on varsity. That was the year we actually were #1 in the state. So I
Hmm.
played with, Mike Dabney, James Saunders, my man Leaping Ray Smith, Book
Hmm.
Council, Tony Martin. We were #1, man. And I know I mentioned Lou Grimsley earlier,
Yes.
and we played Lou. Lou was a senior, I was a junior. Yes, I didn't start. But I was on. I would get in. Every now and then. That was a 6-man some games. So we played Lou in the championship for the ECT, and Lou had 44 points. Man, he kicked out behind.
Yeah.
But we came back. We were playing for the state championship. It wasn't the state championship. We played Weequahic at that time, but it was on the way to that. So we
Hmm.
came there behind. And I know Lou remembered. I think listening to his conversation with you, I think he mentioned that. So it was, I mean, every year that I was on varsity, I went to the ECT finals, and every year we lost the ECT finals. That
Yeah.
year was Weequahic, and the next year against Central,
Hmm.
Grover Willett. I don't know if you remember Grover Willett.
I heard that name. I heard that name.
Grover he was a Magic Johnson before Magic. He was a 6'8" guard in high school, and he was point guard, 6'8".
Mm.
Yeah, going to Central, and I think he eventually passed. I mean, from what I heard, but he was a great guy. Man. He could ball. He was real slow and deceptive. You couldn't strip him.
Hmm.
He's 6'8", but he could handle. You couldn't take the ball from him, and
Yeah.
you couldn't block his shot. I mean, he wasn't shooting like Durant.
Hmm.
He was tough. He was tough.
Hmm.
So we lost that 1-2 at the ECT. Then we came back and we ended up winning the state. We were #1 my senior year. We were like #5 in the state or #3.
Oh,
We beat Lakewood in the championship.
okay.
So,
Now, how was it just playing? I mean,
go ahead.
Lakewood.
Yeah.
No, no, I was gonna say just even with the coaching and everything. How, uh, again, I know playing and competition down there. I know coaching got something to do with who plays and who doesn't. But how was
Mhm.
all that for you?
Well, I tell you, at VLD, that was my first coach, obviously, Tom King.
Hmm.
Tom King, he was great for all of us at that time. He was like a father figure, a mentor. He taught us the fundamentals. We would run back and forth doing suicide, pick, roll, pass, cut, rough rebound, things like that. So he was drilling it into our head while also getting us to be in condition. We would play other team and we would run them at the gym, man.
Yeah.
And the same thing when I got to high school. I mean, some of the freshman, junior, the JV coaches, they were good. I think I had Ross and Walikowski, but my junior year, which was the first year for Bob Lester,
Hmm.
and that was his first coaching assignment. My
Okay.
junior year, 1972, and we become #1 in the state. So what a way to start your career as a coach. And I know
Right.
you heard much about what Lester did in his career. So he was a great coach. So I had some great coaches, man, leading up to that point.
Yeah.
And after that high school, and I'm on 2 states and I'm a great student. Even I didn't really get any offers.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you. I was gonna ask you, like, yeah,
Yeah,
what
man. I
happened?
mean, my story, I need to write a book or write a movie about this crap, man. But I got no offers. So Bob Lester, he went to Montclair State. And so I'm like, I ended up in Montclair State. I'm like, I'm in Montclair State. Wow.
Mhm.
So I'm there and I'm like, okay, I'm here. And this was around the first year they started letting freshmen play varsity.
Okay.
And although I was on the JV, but I'm the best guy on campus. And this is no lie. I had the best. We would practice against the varsity. But the
Mhm.
coach, maybe he was trying to teach me lesson. Oh, I ain't gonna let this guy think he that all that as a freshman. So I guess they tried to humble me. And I knew I was coming in my own. I got better and better every year. I mean, from freshman to JV to varsity to college, I got better every year.
Mhm.
So here I am playing, and I probably would have just stayed at Montclair State. But what happened? The last game of the season, the coach brought 2 guys up from the JV to play in the game at Madison Square Garden. He ain't asked me. I'm like, so I'm upset. I'm disappointed. I'm hurt. So the next day I left. I was so hurt. I left campus. I didn't withdraw from class. And I was like, I guess this is it for fish. But my parents had moved to Omaha, Nebraska. I said, well, I'll go out there. Maybe I'll try to get in and go to Creighton.
Mhm.
But that didn't happen. I worked at Mutual Omaha and I played like some industrial leagues. And once again, I'm getting better. I'm jumping rope with weight jackets, running up hills and stuff. So I'm playing in the league. I don't see the competition winning great, but I had like 2 games back to back. One had 62, the next game had 60. I'm like, man, I'm killing because my jumper just was coming back. It wasn't coming back. It was starting to get there.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I spent a whole year in Omaha, Nebraska.
Mhm.
And I came back to Jersey, ran into Harry James. Harry James introduced me to Cleo Hill, and I went to Essex County College.
Mhm.
And that's when it really took off. Cleo Hill, best coach I ever had.
Yeah.
His Cleon and Cleo Jr. are like brothers to me.
Mhm.
Cleo Hill and myself, we hit it off. He showed me everything he knew about basketball. I mean,
Mhm.
he got a book like this of plays and this and that cycle, and it just took my career off, man. And at that point, I played against Cleveland Eugene. I don't know if you know Cleveland Eugene. He was East Orange High, but he led the nation in scoring for Luther, and we played Luther. Clea and I played in high school at East Orange together, but he was a all American. I was 13 All American at Essex County College.
Yeah.
Great student. I was on the dean's list. So
Uh, Doing both. Absolutely.
man, I was serious. Even I was serious, but so I got recruited like I never been recruited before. Nothing obviously like East Orange High, which I just still don't understand to this day.
How'd that feel this time around?
But great. I
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
recruited by Georgia Tech, Kansas. I could have went out to Nevada with Edgar Jones. I don't know, you know Edgar. You heard that name?
That from a Behringer.
Yes. Yeah, he played in the league, but he was in Nevada Reno. And I visited all these schools. He flew me out there, and I was like, wow, this is how it should have been out of high school, I thought. But I ended up going to Fairfield. But
Mhm.
let me back up. So, in all of that, what happened, because, Cleo Hill went to Winston-Salem. His son is the coach there now.
Mhm.
So he said, hey, Mr. Fisher, we always try to imitate how Mr. Hill talk. Hey, Mr. Fisher, my coach, he wants you to come down there, man. Winston-Salem, big house games. I was like, I said, well, I don't know. He said, well, if you're not going to go, I mean, my school don't have a lot of money. I don't want them to fly you down if you ain't really going to go. And I can understand, that's just bad. But, it probably would have been good if I went down there. I know I probably would have played. So anyway, going forward again, Fairfield, they used to come to every game. That's every game. They had an assistant coach. He came to every game. And that kind of impressed me a little bit because, I even consulted with Cleo, my parents, like, what do y'all think? Where should I go? Ended up going to Fairfield. And I went there. I'm a junior now. I've been to Montclair State. I've been to Essex County College. So now I'm at what? So now I'm at Fairfield. My son had interrupted my call here.
No, it's cool. It's cool.
So I'm at Fairfield now, and I'm a junior, and it doesn't start me. And I'm like, and it's crazy. So I'm like, once again, I think I'm the best guy on campus. I always had confidence, especially at that stage of my career. And it's crazy because Cleo, Mr. Hill, he wrote the coach a letter. He said, why, Kim Fisher could have went anywhere he wanted to, but he chose your school. So why should he sit in the shadows of this other guy who was on the team? And the other guy was all right, but he couldn't do the things I could do. So I sat, I came off the bench as a junior, man. And it was pretty depressing. But my senior year, I guess the coach, he wanted to win now. So, now I'm starting with this other guy. He averaging 20, I'm averaging 18. Without 3-point line. I'm an old guy. There was no 3-point line. There was no ESPN, man. Oh, that was just crazy. Because I think back now, like, wow, what is 3-point line, ESPN? At least I could have been on TV or something.
Right.
But I did have one game where we won TV. It wasn't national. It was a local game. We played Holy Cross, and Bob Cousy was the TV analyst. So I was MVP of the game. We beat them like 128 to 100, which is crazy without the 3-point line. And he interviewed me after the game, which is big highlight for me in my career. Bob Cousy.
Oh yeah.
Game, but I had like 28 points, maybe 6 assists, 3 steals, something like that. Pretty good line. Wasn't a triple double.
No, it sound like normal day's work.
Yeah. If the coach would let me shoot, the other guy, his light was green, my light was amber. I had to think before I took a shot.
Yeah.
But I still made the best of it. Eventually, I got drafted by the Celtics. It was a later round, but they didn't have that many teams back then. Because also what happened, the ABA was alive, when I was maybe a freshman in college. But eventually the ABA was gone. They had a couple of teams that merged with the NBA. So, now all the opportunities are getting cut in half. But I did get drafted by the Celtics. And I went to camp. They flew me out there. Red Auerbach, he runs his camp for the kids. He infuses the tryouts for the NBA team, the rookie camp, with his camp. So I'm in this camp. I'm sleeping on a cot. It wasn't like, oh wow, you in a nice hotel. No, it was nothing like that, man. But I was in shape, so it didn't matter. Went out there, I'm playing against Nate Archibald, and I'm sure Greg mentioned this because we were there together.
Right.
Nate Archibald, Georgia White, Cornbread, man. This was also the same year they had drafted Larry Bird, but they only drafted the rights to him. So he wasn't. Yeah, he stayed in school, and 79 he played against Magic. That story. But this was 78 when I went to the camp, and I thought I played well. But eventually, Casey Jones, he comes over to me. He said, "Well, Fish, we're gonna have to let you go, man. We got Nate Archibald." I didn't have an agent or anything like that. But my coach from college said, "Oh, Fish, you don't need an agent." What did I know? Should have had one because maybe it would help me going forward. So, I'm there, and Casey said, "Well, we gotta let you go. We got Nate." I said, "Well, what if Nate get hurt?"
Right.
I'm my own agent now, but and he didn't really answer that. And so eventually, I flew home. First time I got cut.
Yeah.
It was upsetting. Eventually I played with some Eastern League, which was semi-pro, which was, the equivalent of the G League now. And I played for the Maine Lumberjacks. I played for Lancaster Red Roses. and that wasn't going anywhere. They wasn't paying any money. It was like, I probably should have stayed because it would have gave me another opportunity. But once again, I didn't have anybody telling me that. And also, out of Fairfield, this is a good thing about going to Fairfield. They did give me a fantastic job coming out of college. I'm working on Madison Avenue, making nice dollars at that age.
Mhm.
And I was like, all right, well, this is cool. But I was doing that while trying to play in the Eastern League. But I would ride all the way up to Maine, Portland, Maine, Bangor, Maine.
No, I
Oh,
know what you're talking about. Yeah.
they would give me $75 a game.
Mm.
And I said, well, can't y'all at least give me $100 a game? They said, no, we can't do that. I'm like, so I was like, man, this ain't working because I'm spending all that to get up there. They wouldn't give me travel money or anything. So it was tough, being in that environment. I mean, the guys in the G League now, I'm sure they're getting paid pretty decent salary where you don't have, pay, you can use that money to buy a house maybe or pay rent. I couldn't pay rent with $75 a game. And we only playing 2 games a week, if that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
even though the cost of living was a little lower back then, but it wasn't that daggone low.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how it went. The following year, I did go and try out with the Atlanta Hawks because my assistant coach at Fairfield eventually became assistant coach with Hubie Brown at the Hawks. And right before going to camp, I mean, I'm in shape, man. I'm running up hills again, doing all that stuff. And I'm playing pickup. I came down somebody's foot. Hurt the hell out of my ankle, man. But I'm like, oh God, I gotta get this right. This is like maybe a week before the camp. They flew me out there. And I wasn't myself. I couldn't really do it, but I tried.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing with Hubie, he said, oh, anybody hurt, let me know now. I'm thinking, I don't want to tell him now. He want to send me home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You get everybody on the baseline. He got you walk on the sides of your feet and then walk on the inside of your feet all the way down the other line to try to see who can stand it. I got pretty good pain tolerance, so I did it. But maybe he saw some grimace in my face. And like I said, I couldn't do me, man. I wasn't me at that camp. If I wasn't hurt, this would be a different conversation.
Yeah. And then even from the Hawks, that situation down there, it just left bad taste.
Yeah, that was pretty much it there. But I mean, I played, summer league and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
They had the overseas thing, but it wasn't as lucrative as it is now because,
Okay.
first of all, then, they had 6-foot guards that they had in their nation. They were looking for the 6'10", 6'11" guys from America.
Right.
And I'm telling you, I went to a camp. You know when you turn it out.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't one to talk jump, but I knew I was good. And I turned it out, but not one person said anything to me, man. So it was a little disappointing end of my basketball career. But I've been working in computers, and that was the other thing. The job in Madison Avenue was with computers,
and this is back then, yeah.
This is like it was really getting started. This was before PCs, man. I'm working with mainframes and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a very good job at that time to get started, and I've been doing that ever since. I'm retired now. And also, just to move on, eventually Fairfield did put me in the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
I only started there 1 year. I played there 2 years. Started 1 year, they put me in the Hall of Fame. But I was an MVP that season, my senior year.
Right, because you had the other guard you guys were playing together. They had y'all as like one of the best backcourts not only in New England, probably in the country too, right?
Well, I don't know. I mean, there wasn't much since there was no sports center and no ESPN. You didn't really hear about it. It was only local. We were considered, and it was the ECAC, I think was the
right.
It wasn't like what they got now. If I was in the Big East or something, I look at this stuff and I'm like, wow, where was that back then?
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't. Yeah, we were one of the top. We were one of the top.
Y'all still talk?
Yeah, we still stay in touch. And he called me the other day because the home court where we played on campus at Fairfield, they tore it down and they were building a new a new arena. So we were talking and, saying how, well, we should have like something the first game, like have the best team in bed because we all think we were the best. And we would
Yes.
go we were like 25-3, man. After 80 some points a game with no 3-point line.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, we were balling, man. We were balling.
Now, when did they start calling you Silk?
We hear that, man. No,
Oh,
that happened in high school.
okay.
High school, Kenny Macklin, who was Bob Lester's assistant coach, JV coach as well. He came up with it, man. He started calling me Silk. I'm like, well, I like that. That was nice. And a lot of people said, well, I guess that's how my game was. It was pretty smooth, but I thought I was just good.
Yeah.
I didn't talk junk. I just knew. And I had this thing, athletes, we superstitious, right? You play ball, you play any sports.
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, we all got our own little superstitions, right? So, jump ball, I'm at the jump ball waiting for the jump. And I would always in my mind say, I said, whoever guard me is in trouble. But I would say it to myself. But that was my superstition to say that to myself to get me going. And it always got me going, man.
Yeah. Now, how was this playing like you in that whole Big Ten conference back then? How was it?
It was good. I mean, we had some pretty good players. We played against St. Bonaventure, Iona.
Oh no. Big Ten, the high school conference.
Oh, right. Because I was gonna say the Big Ten wasn't even around in college. The Big Ten, it was interesting. I mean, ours was always a great rivalry for us. And in the Greg, he was a junior, I was a senior, but we didn't really go up against each other too much in high school.
Okay.
We did see each other in college because he was at season, I was at Fair.
Who got the best of that overall?
He won the game, man. But I think we wanted to kill each other so bad. Our stats wasn't what they normally are.
Yeah.
So it was one of them type of deals. But he had a better supporting cast. Yeah, but the Big Ten, I mean, Orange, East Orange, we had, I think Irvington was in it, unless they were the North League. But you had like Belleville, Bloomfield, West Orange.
Okay.
But it was competitive. Those teams had some players.
Yeah. And then even jumping when you went the junior college route, like just how was it just being around Coach Hill all the time? How was it?
He was a joy to be around for me. I mean, he was tough on some guys. And the thing with Coach Hill, man, I mean, he was an English teacher, right? So, you have guys, we had practice and, you got the chatter going on and guys would say, so he said, hey, man, you can't say that. You talking about splitting verbs, using double negative. But he was good. It's like he's still preparing you for life. I mean, you go out in life, you got to be able to speak well. And I always, valued that with him, as well as his basketball knowledge. I mean, he would always tell me about his career. And I don't know if he shared all that with everybody, but I was at his home. He had all the clippings and everything about how he got blackballed. Right. And it upset me because, the story was so real, and the fact that he shared that with me, man, it was, I think, he treated me like his son too, man. We were that close. That's why I love Cleon and, Cleo to this day, man. It was my guys. Yeah. But it was great to be around Mr. Hill. And I got one incident that's real funny with him. When they finally built the new Essex County college, the arena, not the arena, but the whole campus they got there now. Because we were in an apartment, but not apartment, but an office building when I went there as far as the classes. Oh. So now they got the restaurants and whatnot there. And, he would send me, he said, Mr. Fisher, I always got to just talk like him, because that's all we did. Mr. Fisher, I need you to go get me some fried fish with some hot sauce. So I went, got it.
This during practice?
No. This is after. This was
okay.
Doing class time. And in between classes, obviously. So I went and I put some hot sauce. He said, man, ain't no hot sauce. He wanted that stuff dripping on there. I'm like, I don't know how much hot sauce you wanted, Mr.
Hmm.
That just, I think about that all the time.
Yeah. Nah,
But,
folks don't play with their hot sauce.
oh my God. And I like hot sauce on my fish. And I don't really even eat seafood. I'm allergic to shellfish.
Hmm.
But now I don't put as much as he did, but he's doused the fish with
Hmm.
hot sauce. It was
Yeah.
crazy.
Mm.
Yeah.
Did you ever get a chance? Did he ever play against you guys or try to shoot around or whatever with you guys?
I mean, he would throw some hook shots from the corner, from half.
And they would go in too.
Yes, yes, yes. Because from my understanding, I never seen him play,
Hmm.
but I understand he had every shot,
Yeah.
every kind of shot, man, every kind of shot.
Hmm.
And, I just think about that guy, man. I came and visited him when he was in the hospital, man. It was hurt. It hurt me, man. It hurt. I
Yeah.
was with his wife, and I think Cleo was there, Cleo Jr. So the three of us were there visiting at the time. So he was my man. He was my man, and he taught me a lot, man. I tell you, when I left Essex, my game was definitely elevated,
Yeah.
and I owe that to Cleo Hill, man.
Mm.
You know,
Uh, I hear
yeah.
that about a lot of y'all that went through Coach Hill. I hear a lot about that.
Yeah, look at Lou, man. I mean, he played. They still got the record for the most points ever scored in a game. I think Lou had 44 in that game. That's his number, 44.
That's his thing. Yeah, yeah.
44 against us. He had 44 in that game, and that was the year before I came.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Wow.
yeah,
And then
Lil Hill, man.
nah, definitely. Like I said, it's a blessing. I mean, for you to know him and you was underneath them, like you mentioned, you obviously I guess kind of befriending them at the house and everything with the kids and that. Nah. Like I said, legend, and definitely didn't get his just due with all that NBA stuff. And yeah, that's
Yeah,
crazy how that played out. Like I said, but
yeah,
you got a chance to be with him, and obviously you said he took your game to a whole nother level here. Even before that whole other level, excuse me. When did you realize like, yo, I'm kind of good at this? Was it like when you were younger or just around
Uh,
that time?
I think once when I left high school, I mean, I was good in high school because I was steady. I was fundamentally sound. I wasn't missing a layup. My jumper was all right,
Yeah.
but we had so many great players, man. You couldn't really shine so much, because we just shined as a team. There was no real individual thing. I mean, I can say, well, Mike Dabney, he kind of stood out. You know that name? You heard Mike
Yeah,
Dabney?
nah, yeah, I heard that name. Yes.
Went to Rutgers, but he was a senior, I was a junior. That was the year we were number one, and I could see he kind of stood out. He played varsity as a sophomore.
Hmm.
I remember, and even my senior. I mean, I had a couple of juniors with me. Kenny Young, who's no longer with us. Kenny was great. We were in the backcourt together. Me and Reggie Baker. We had my man Raymond Smith was starting, and who else? And Mike Booker, who was a sophomore. Mike was pretty good. Good career.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting. And then with the sports and this playing, like, what has it done with you as far as life wise? That's stuck with you, like what you've got from playing sports.
Well, the discipline aspect. I mean, you see, I was on this call. I was on time, right?
I impressed. I was about to say you almost did it, even logging in. I mean, that's usually my little comedy time, like watching people trying to get on. Like,
And I'm pretty good. I'm working with technology. I just could not figure out, I haven't worked with it in a while, so I don't really stay up on it. I mean, I got a laptop, I don't even get on that. I get on my phone, play some games or whatever, go on Facebook. But
no, but you was on time. Yeah, yeah.
yes. And that kind of, that was the discipline aspect I was saying with basketball and sports in general. I mean, you come to practice late, man. You running some line drill.
Yeah.
Even though the line drills are good because they always help you get in shape, but I didn't want to be bothered with it. I want to do it on my own. I don't want to have to do it as a result of being late.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously work ethics. I always went above and beyond. I think. I had a few jobs in my career, And you know, they were good jobs, man. You know, I worked for some pretty good companies. I mean, Unilever, Shearson, Lehman, Hutton.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Obviously, I worked for City Hall in East Orange. That was a pretty good job too. But I worked a lot in New York, and like I said, I worked on Wall Street, and I worked at Unilever, which was great. I mean, Chase Manhattan Bank. So I had a pretty good, you know, professional career as well, as far as outside of sports.
Yes.
So I was
Yes.
able to take care of the kids, man.
No, absolutely. I mean, and you mentioned that discipline part, and again, sports sometimes, I mean, it's a vehicle for a lot of people here. And to your point here, you mentioned going to Fairfield, though some other things didn't work out with the playing time right away. You alluded to it in regards to um getting set up nice right down on Madison Ave. Like, again, it might not been your top choice, but it still worked out.
Yes, yeah, and that's how I looked at it. I mean, because I was a little upset. You know, I'm the kind of guy I said if I had a chance to do it over, I would have done it differently. But people say, "Oh, well, Fish, you know, Fairfield was a great school. They got you a great job." I said, "Yeah, but if I'd have been in Nevada Arena with Edgar, I might have been in the league
Yeah. Hmm.
or Georgia Tech." I mean, those are the two that I thought maybe I should have gone to, but I can't complain. I mean, you know, my life has been great up to this point. Even, you know, I'm healthy, so much. You know, I'm an older guy, but you know, I got my little, you know, ailments here and there, but I'm still kicking.
That's right.
You know, my family's healthy, man. You know, I got 3 kids. My wife, we've been together almost 40 years.
That's all right. Yeah.
Kim Jr., I got a Corey, I got Camry in that order, and Kim Jr., he's got Kim the third. So I got another Kim Fisher coming up.
Okay.
Maybe
Nah.
maybe
Congrats.
he'll be that guy, man.
Nah. Nah. That's good stuff. That's good stuff.
Yeah, 'cause, I spend a lot of time with the grands when I can, you know. And this COVID thing, ain't that crazy? You
It
know,
is. It
man,
is.
you know, and I've been vaccinated, boosted, all that stuff. But you know, I still kind of go to casino sometimes, but I'm masked up.
Mm-hmm.
Got to be something, right, Evan?
Yeah.
But
No. You still gotta live. You gotta live.
yeah, so I sometimes I gotta try to see the kids, but you know, just recently they were positive, so you know, just kind of coordinating when everybody's healthy and getting up there. So you know, it's all good, man. You know,
Definitely.
I'm blessed. I'm truly blessed. You know, life has been good to me.
No, absolutely, absolutely. Wonder if I could throw you on the spot here, before we part ways. If you had a few more minutes for me.
Oh yeah, I'm good. Go ahead, man.
Nah, just kind of fire off. I like to just have a little fun with some random questions here.
Uh,
Obviously, when you're driving, what do you prefer, the Parkway or the Turnpike?
Parkway. Well,
Yeah.
according to where you're going.
Okay, okay.
If I'm going to Maryland, I gotta hit the turnpike.
Okay.
Which I have family in Maryland. That's why I say Maryland, but I gotta hit the turnpike. I don't
Well,
like the
makes sense.
turnpike, man, but it gotta go where you gotta hit it.
Yeah, one way or another sometimes. Yeah. Yeah.
You gotta hit it, man.
Being East Orange guy, Main Street or Central Ave?
Oh man, I don't know. I mean, it's the fast food is on Central Avenue. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, Main Street. I think Main Street and Orange is better than any of the East Orange block. You know, you can do a lot on Main Street and Orange,
Hmm.
but Main Street and East Orange, you know, it's not much.
Yeah.
There's not much there, man. So I don't know. I can't answer that one clearly.
Nah, fair enough, fair enough. I know if
Uh,
he was a I know if he was a night like to hang out a little bit, I was gonna the peppermint or bogeys.
oh, the peppermint. Definitely the peppermint. I
Definitely.
miss peppermint, man. You don't know
Okay.
anything about the peppermint, even.
It was still around, it was still around. Yeah, it was on his way out, but it was still hanging
Peppermint,
in there.
that's what was up, man. That was what was up.
Hmm.
Smokies was cool, but no, the peppermint definitely.
Okay, okay. Uh Fairfield or Essex?
Wow. Well, I mean, they all brought me different things. I mean, Essex kind of springboarded me. Fairfield kind of sent me on my way in a decent way. You know, like I mentioned with the job and all. And I got a
Mhm.
good experience. I met some good people. So that's tough. I mean, you know, Essex is kind of gave you Essex because it was Cleo Hill, man.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, what would
I don't know if I answered
no, 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 no.
that one.
his part B to that, where East Orange fit and all that.
Say that again.
His part B to that, where's East Orange at
Oh,
with those
okay.
two?
Well, I mean, it's really part A, B, and C, because I can see how they all kind of springboarded me to the next
Okay.
level.
Yeah.
I won't put Montclair State in there, although I learned some
No.
things from that too.
Mm-hmm.
Which I ain't go with all of it, but
Yeah.
I learned some things there. Actually, let's go back to Montclair State. The JV coach was Brian Hill, who actually coached, I think, the Orlando Magic.
Yeah, Jersey guy. Yeah, he coached them in
Yeah,
that.
he was my coach.
He coached Shaq, and actually Anthony Avent was on that team. They lost. They got swept by the Rockets.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
and
Yeah.
you did. I saw some of the Anthony Avent interview you
Oh
did.
yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Nah, we never really got to meet, but I know of him in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
He's from North, so yeah.
Right. Nah,
Mhm.
interesting. Your favorite playground to play at?
It would have to be Elmwood Park. I mean, my Washington Park guys are gonna say, "Oh, Fitz, come on, man," because that's point guard you, and I know that. But if you really wanted the ball, you gotta go to Elmwood Park, man.
Yeah.
But I would go, and I was. I won't say I was arrogant. I was just confident. I would go to the parks nearby. I would drive my car to any park. I'm gonna go see if anybody can hold me.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't. I was always very competitive, man.
Nah, that's good. He's supposed to be. He's supposed to be.
Yeah, I mean, I had a jumper, man. You just couldn't do anything with it.
Mm-hmm. Did you have
Stop,
a go? You have a go-to move? You have a couple
stop
of
on
go-tos?
a dime. I would stop on a dime, bro.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 stop on a dime. I'm there. I'm up before you even think about it. Yeah, it was like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I could
Yeah.
use both hands, man.
Oh, yeah. You did say about being a little ambidextrous.
Yeah, I can use both hands, man. I was pretty good with that.
Mm-hmm.
So that helped me. I mean, I can handle it with my left hand and my right. I mean, I'm mostly right-handed, but
Mm-hmm.
that helped. You need to be that in basketball.
Was there anybody that guarded you the best? That
Mm.
could hold you a little bit?
And I don't know how many people are gonna see this, but I had a buddy of mine. We grew up together, Mike Will. And he was on the team with me at East Orange High.
Mm-hmm.
He would always say he was that guy. He said, "Fitz, I knew all your moves and everything." I'm like, "All right, Mike. Well, I give you that, but I mean, for somebody who was the hardest to guard me or the best to guard me,
Mm-hmm.
that's like maybe holding me to 30
Yeah. Yeah.
versus 40."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But he would say it was him. I mean, in college, nah.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of anybody.
Yeah.
Maybe Nate Archibald. But Nate wasn't playing D. When I was at Boston Celtics, Nate and I were going at it. It was me and him.
Mm-hmm.
And he did one move on me. I mean, that's guarding me, but you can see how you learn little slick tricks from NBA players, man. I'm sure even now I see. I'm like, well, that's interesting. I got away with that.
Yes.
But Nate did something with me with his elbow as he was going down the lane. I was like, oh, okay, all right, I got that.
Yeah.
So I learned something. If you can't learn something,
I pick stuff along the way. Pick up stuff along the way. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Did you ever play over in the playgrounds in New York, like Rucker or any of those?
I did play the Rucker. I played with what was the name? I played with Charlie Chris, who ended up playing with Atlanta Hawks.
Mm-hmm.
This guy Boston. We actually won it. I mean, New Rochelle Boys Club. That was the name of the team.
Okay.
And I was a Jersey guy. I would come there, hit jumpers. Once again, there was no 3-point line. I would ride over there, me and my girl, who's my wife now for almost 40 years.
You said girl, singular, right?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yes, my girl.
Okay.
My wife, who is my wife now. But I would ride there, play that game, and just get up on out of it. I mean, it was crazy, man. People sitting in the trees and stuff. It was a great experience.
Yeah, so it was like that on the regular, pretty much.
Yes. And this is in the 70s. I mean, late 70s, early 80s.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I knew a few people that kind of hooked me up.
Mm-hmm.
So I was the only Jersey guy on the team, but we won it.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now, what would have happened if there was a 3-point line when you played?
You know, I've been mentioning the 3-point line a lot, right? But my game was more mid range. You know, like what's the guy from Chicago who played for Chicago? Man, why can't I remember his name? Because he's more mid range, but he'll hit a three every now and then. What's the guy from Chicago? I mean, Chicago Bulls. He
It's about
was with,
Derrick Rose. Not,
no, he played with him now. Man, I don't know why I can't remember this guy's name, but his game is more mid range. I mean, I don't want to say Kyrie. Kyrie still hit threes, but he hits in the lane. And
mhm.
that was more or less where I'm hitting. I'm, because I can get to
Oh, you
any
talk about DeMar DeRozan.
right.
Right,
There
right,
you go.
right,
Right.
right.
We both was gonna go crazy on that one. I'm
Yeah.
glad I'm glad you taking preference. But DeMar DeRozan, mid-range expert,
Okay.
as is Kyrie. Kyrie, he gets you in the lane, boom, 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 and he go up, he got you.
Yes.
That
Yes.
was kind of how I did, man. That was my go-to.
Mhm.
Hmm But
Now,
I wasn't really shooting it. I wasn't shooting deep because it was, the point was to get as close as you can get.
yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
So,
I was gonna say, in regards to speaking of games or what have you, best game you ever played in your life on any level. Does something stick out?
that game when the guy, I forgot the guy's name, the guy from Holy Cross, God, the boss is Bob.
Bob Cousy. Bob Cousy.
When Bob Cousy interviewed me, I probably didn't even miss a shot, man. It was like,
Yeah.
and Holy Cross, it was against Holy Cross. They were ranked in the nation at the time. And it was a big build-up to this game. They had a couple good guys, Ronnie Perry, who actually played professional baseball, I think. He was a good basketball player. And they had a few other guys that were pretty highly heralded. And it was a big game, man. And I mean, from the start,
Mhm.
we blew them out. And it was as a result of my play that we
Yeah.
did. But, I
Yeah.
had some big games at Essex because I averaged like 26 points a game.
Mhm.
And that was D3. Which I wasn't even thinking back then at D3. I'm like, I'm just here with Cleo Hill. But
Yes.
Mr. Hill would always say, "Oh, Mr. Fisher, you're the only guy to go from D3 to D1 because Fairfield was D1."
Mhm.
I didn't look at it that way, but it would help me was the academics. You had some great players, but academically, you probably couldn't make it at D1.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that helped me a lot. Man, but I had some great games there. East Orange, I can't say I had some great games. I averaged 14 points a game, which was pretty steady. But I wasn't the leading scorer. I think the leading scorer had 15, Reggie Baker.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but that game against Holy Cross and pretty much everything I did at Essex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, I hear you. I hear you. What's best team you ever been on?
Hmm. It'd have to be the East Orange team, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we number one in the state.
Mhm.
At Essex, we had a chance to go to Hutchinson, Kansas, which is the Nationals for junior college. And I can remember it was a game for us to go there, right? And I had a great game. I forgot the team, at Burlington or somebody. And I went in for a layup, and I wasn't going to throw it off the glass. And it wasn't dunking it because dunking wasn't really allowed.
Mhm.
So I'm finger rolling it. The guy blocked it from behind. All I can remember is Hill like, "Oh, Mr. Fisher, you should have put it off the glass." And I
Mhm.
think that game, that hurt me, man. That game, we would have went to Kansas.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably got recruited even more so if I'm in Kansas. But that game kind of hurt, man.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, was that your question?
Yeah, no, 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 no. You talked about a team and you just the best team or what have you here. Then you speaking of East Orange, I
Uh-huh.
know I might get you in trouble here, but if y'all time East Orange starting five, and they could be positionless neither. You don't have to put them in their position. You're starting five. East Orange.
I would say Greg James, Mike Dabney, myself,
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland Eugene, I don't know that fifth one. It's either Kenny Young or Jimmy Saunders,
Hmm.
but that's six. You know,
No,
then
that's
I
fine. If somebody come up, that's your six man. Yeah, that's cool.
yeah, you know, then I got Mike Book in there, you know, but I would have to put them guys, man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I forgot. I forgot Clyde Bradshaw. Because the reason I say Clyde, because Clyde is in the Hall of Fame East Hall. I'm also
I'm
Hall of
about
Fame.
to say, don't forget about yourself.
Yeah, well, I put me in there. You hear me? Oh, I'm in there, but I'm in the Hall of Fame East Hall. They recently put together this Hall of Fame. Maybe about 5 years ago. I wasn't in the first or the second year. I think the third year I got in there.
Mhm.
But Clyde Bradshaw is in there, Greg James, Mike Dabney, Mike Booker, myself. Who else? I think that's five. So that's probably would be the starting five, right?
Who's the best to ever come out of these stars? You?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I would say I was all around, man. I didn't have any weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
That was another thing with Cleo Hill. You know, no weaknesses. So it was in practice one time, or probably during the game, or in practice, he told me, "Hey, Mr. Fraser, you can't shoot going to the right." You know, and this is his whole cycle thing.
Yes.
This is before they started talking about triple threat and all that. I mean, I'm hearing this from Cleo Hill back in the day before, like I say, you hear triple threat now, right? Triple threat, you know, you got the ball, you got the dribble. So you can go left, you can go right. I mean, he got one dribble jump shot to the right, one dribble. He got two dribble jump shot to the right, and three dribble. He said, "Hey, Mr. President, you know, hey, everybody can't do a three dribble jump shot." And you know, you think about it, three dribbles versus 2 or 1. I mean, it's a big deal, man, because you know, probably gonna get double teamed or somebody gonna come at you, or you gotta change direction. So I mean, these are all the things that I learned from Cleo Hill, man. It's just, I mean, going to the goal, you know, instead of pulling up stationary jump shots,
Mm-hmm.
incredible stuff, man.
Nah, it sound like it to be a
That's
part
why
of.
I feel, you know, I mean, I look at some of the other players. You ask who's the best. I don't know anybody that can do all that.
Mm-hmm. Now
And
outside of,
they can say what they want, but
it's okay. Nah, everybody got their truth. It's
hey,
cool.
right,
Yeah, it's
right.
cool. It's
That's how
cool.
I feel about it. But believe me, there were some great players in these stars, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Now,
East was very competitive, and you know, it helped me to get to the point where I got to. So, you know, playing in that competitive environment.
mm-hmm. Now,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. Now,
Mhm.
outside of East Orange, who's have you one of the best high school? Who's the best high school player you've seen, excluding East Orange players that you
Uh,
might have played against or saw?
yeah. I mean, it had to be
Yeah.
Lou Grimsley, man. I mean, you know, the way he scored.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he had the jumper. He had that off the dribble stuff like Cleo taught. I mean, he did. He was doing it before he went to Essex because, you know, like I say, he had that 44 against us when he was at Weequahic. But you know, just seeing how Lou would shoot, man, and off the dribble. You
Yeah.
know, everybody can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the guy that can create. If you can create the shot, man, you know, get it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see any weaknesses with his game.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Who's
Well, then
somebody
again,
who was
yeah, but I got to go back to
no
JoJo
no
Wall.
go
I
no
haven't
no
met
go back. Did you
JoJo.
see? Did you? JoJo's tough from what I hear. I hear he's tough.
I always say Joe would come and dunk on you right-handed or left-handed.
Oh, he let it be known too. Yeah.
Yes, and the thing with Joe, and I always tell, oh, Joe, you don't left hand, right hand. So the thing with Joe, you know, he came to us after I left. I was at Fairfield. You know, I told you about the letter Mr. Joe wrote to the coach at Fairfield. He was upset. You know, they did set up a game for Essex to play the JV at Fairfield. You know, and Joe was on that team with Benny Harris and the other guy. Joe came in. I don't know how many points he scored, but he tried to rip the basket off the backboard, man. And it was, you know, I was so proud of these guys because you know I'm at Fairfield. I can't go anywhere. I can't transfer. I'm done now. You know, now you know these guys they do 5 years now, which I still don't understand. You know, you know about that, right? You guys doing 5 years in college.
Oh, I know this past year they gave an extra year with the whole COVID thing. Right.
Is that how that worked? It was based on COVID.
Yeah, I think it was just. I don't think it was nothing like permanent. It was an extra year of eligibility.
Okay, yeah, yeah. See, I wish I'd had that.
A lot of us.
Right. But Joe was tough too, man. Joe was tough.
Yeah, I heard stories. I heard
Yeah,
stories.
yeah. He had that jump off the dribble too, man.
Mm,
He would go in and dunk on your behind, left hand or right hand.
mm, mm.
Yes, yes. And I would tell, like, oh, I said, Joe, I can't dunk left-handed, man. So I could dunk, but not
Mhm.
left.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
right. So that's my weakness. I can't dunk left-handed.
It was all right though. I mean, everything else made up for that. It's all
Yeah,
good.
I lay it up left-handed.
All good. Somebody who should have made it, however you want to define made it.
uh, wow, I don't know, man. I, I don't know. That's a tough one, man. I got to think about it. How much time you got? Let me see. I don't know. I don't know. I just think I was the cream of the crop.
Hmm.
And anybody that got what they got what they got.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but I mean, I ain't taking anything away from anybody. There was some great players. I mean, I did like my man Mike Dabney because he would definitely finish on the break, with the best of. I mean, finger roll,
Hmm.
the best of. I mean, George Gervinish.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike, that was Mike. Yeah. And Greg James, he's one of the original ballers that I'm aware of. I mean, there was some before him, obviously, but he played in a game down in Atlantic City championship against Perth Amboy. That was Brian Taylor. I don't know if you remember that name, but Brian Taylor played in the NBA with the Nets. But Greg tore him up. Greg tore him
Yeah,
up in the
yeah.
state championship game at Atlantic City Convention Center in
Hmm.
'69, I believe it was. So Greg was
Mm.
tough too. You know.
Now, what's the best part about being Kim Fisher?
Wow, man. Hey, I had a great life, man, and I hope I got a few more years ahead of me.
Hmm.
I mean, yeah, but I've been truly blessed, man. I had my parents, they're not around anymore. I always had food to eat, always had a roof. Wasn't no stress in my life as a result of that. I met kind of my childhood sweetheart and married her, and we had 3 kids. I got a house.
Yeah.
I always had a decent job. I mean, I did have some points where I was in between jobs, and I was in between jobs, believe it or not, when the World Trade Center got bombed, or when the planes ran into it. Because I worked in World Trade, as a consultant, and I can remember going in there and being like on 100-something floor, and that building actually swayed, and it gets to me every time I think about it, how them planes flew into that building, man. Because I'm like, damn, I was in there at some point. So I mean, and I'm still around. I got grandkids. It's. I mean, life is good, man.
Yeah.
It's all
Yeah.
good. Man. I can't complain, man. I've been blessed.
Yeah. You feel you've gotten your just due?
Well, no, no. I mean, I always think back. I should have been in the league.
Hmm.
I was a unique player, man, with the skill set I had, and I just think that I just didn't get as a placeholder. 'Cause which is a great thing to say. I could put that on my mantle. Oh, I was drafted.
Hmm.
I didn't think I really had a good shot to make the team. There's only a
Yeah.
few guys gonna make it, man. There's only what 12 guys, maybe 15,
Hmm.
three that don't start, that don't dress on the team. But shit, if I was on the team now, the guys on the bench making millions of dollars, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a millionaire, but I'm all right. But
Hmm.
I mean, I could use a couple more dollars. You got a
Yeah,
job.
yeah. Who can't? I can too.
I
Yeah,
still
absolutely.
play
Absolutely.
Powerball and Mega Millions.
Nah, absolutely. Yeah. Speaking
Yeah.
of your life, if there was a book on your life, you mentioned earlier it could be a story about you. We had a book on your life. What would it be called?
Uh, and I thought about it, and I had a title at some point, and it won't come to me.
Hmm.
But I don't know, the guy that never made it, man. Even though I'm blessed and I'm fortunate, but I just think I should have been there,
Hmm.
man. I really think I should have made it. I'm sure a lot of other guys probably feel the same way.
Yeah.
But the guy that didn't make it,
The guy.
but he's
Okay.
doing all right. You got to put that in parentheses, but he's doing all right.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, man. Yep.
That's right. And this point in your life, what would this Kim Fisher tell that 17, 18-year-old senior? What advice would you give that Kim Fisher?
Play baseball.
Yeah.
Stick with
Yeah.
baseball, man. I mean, Evan, I could pitch. I
Hmm.
could hit right-handed, left-handed.
Yeah.
I mean, I could play pretty much any position, man. But I pitched and I played the outfield, and in high school. But in high school, I let it go. I didn't finish my senior year playing baseball. The team was not very good.
Hmm.
And I can remember one game where I played where I just said, "This is it." It was against Montclair, and Dale Berra, Yogi Berra's son, was playing for Montclair at the time.
Okay.
Chilly. We had gloves and all that stuff. I mean, we had gloves to catch with, but not
Right.
batting.
Right.
I don't want you to think it's that far back. So we playing, and I got the guy that pitched. I ain't gonna even say his name. He pitched, man. He walked like maybe 10 batters in a row. I'm
Hmm.
in center field. I'm out there freezing. I'm like, oh, just let him hit it. So we finally got up. I hit the ball, and it was like, they hit a term, the bee stings in your hand. It was like I hit the ball. It was out. I think I hit a grounder to Dale Berra at short.
Hmm.
I'm like, oh, I just can't do this, man. Because I don't even think we won a game.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the Kim Fisher now would tell that Kim Fisher, stay with it. Stay with it, man. You decent baseball player. You got more opportunities playing baseball and basketball, and you probably could have just did both, which I think back to that.
Mm.
Even Fairfield, a couple of guys at Fairfield that played on the baseball team, made it to the major leagues. There was a guy who was a pitcher. And I think back now, I'm like, man, I should have just went to their practice. Let me get in the batting cage, see what I could do. Never did it, Evan.
Mm.
So that's what I would say. I mean, besides, there's some other things I would tell that 18-year-old Kim Fisher, but I would definitely say, yeah, man, stay with baseball.
Yeah. Yeah. Now baseball is a great sport too, and like to your point, as far as maybe not as strenuous in some ways. Yeah.
Right, right. And these guys making a bunch of money, man.
Bunch of money. Yeah. Bunch of
Yeah.
money.
And I also think, like coaching. I mean, maybe I should try coaching, but I
Hmm.
wouldn't. I mean, you see some of the guys, decent ball players. I think Magic tried to coach, and it didn't work out. I mean, when you're a hard worker and you know your work ethic, and then try to, instill that in the team that you're coaching,
Yeah.
yeah, you don't get that feedback from them that you think you should get. It's kind of tough, man. And I think that would have been me. And because I learned a lot of good things from a lot of different coaches that I could have shared. And I share with individuals that I come across. I try to show my sons, the game. They played, I always tell them, I said, I would kill y'all if I was the same age.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, right there, right there. I'm like,
Yeah. I let them know. Yeah.
yeah, I let them know, Evan, but they still don't believe it, man. But I guess it's gonna always be that way with them.
Hmm.
So that's what I would tell that young Kim Fisher.
Yeah. Last question. What's on deck for you here? I know retirement. Where we traveling to next? What are we doing with this retirement life?
I don't know, man. My wife got me trying to do this kitchen over.
Okay.
So, I just recently had to rearrange some pipe in the gas pipe. I know people, oh, hey, you working with gas, but if you know what you're doing, you know what you're doing.
Right.
So that was one of the things I did. I still got some other stuff. I got to do some spackling. She got somebody coming in here with doing the cabinets over,
Hmm.
and a couple new appliances. So that's really where we are.
Okay.
So I can't go to casino and lose the money that I need for that.
Nah,
'Cause,
nah, nah, nah.
even the casino been kicking my behind lately, man.
Hmm.
I had a couple good moments, but I got to kind of back off a little bit.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the casino, in some ways you've been doing that for a while. You don't bet it on yourself going out to Nebraska to coming back to Essex and
Hmm.
playing that out and everything else that you've done, with your life here. And, I am so honored, like I said, to even have this, few minutes with you here. I didn't think I'd catch you, but
Yeah, but I know,
persistence pays off here. Persistence pays off. So, but I really, really appreciate this. Like I said, just to listen to this, and again, knowing your
right.
nephews, Malik and Samad, like knowing those guys,
Well,
but like I
okay.
said, yeah,
Oh,
but like I said, just
so you know Tariq too then?
yeah, no Tariq as well.
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
always tell them I can kick their behinds too.
Hmm. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm sure they like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm sure.
yeah, but they don't want to hear. No, they was great. They was some good players.
Yes,
You
yes,
know, Samad was tough. Tariq tough. Malik, he played the football, but he said he can guard me in battle. I'm like, Malik, come on, really?
yeah,
Nobody can guard me, man. Well,
yeah,
I can. Oh, I'm like, okay. But
yeah,
we never know.
yeah. We'll leave it at that. Yeah, definitely leave it at that. But
Yeah,
I just want to say thank you. Like I said, just taking time out to talk to me. Like I
yeah.
said, you've been doing a million other things. So, like I said, I really appreciate you taking time out, share a little bit of your world with me here. I really appreciate it.
Right. And even not apologize. There were a couple times that I kind of, reneged on some time.
No apologies needed, none
Right.
whatsoever.
It's
No.
been tough,
Yeah,
man.
I'm the young boy. I'm supposed to, I got to take all the thousand no's. I'm cool, or I'll get back to you. Nah, I'm
Well,
the young boy. I'm the young boy here. I have no problem with
all right. Well, I appreciate that, man. And it's been a pleasure talking with you, man. I mean, I never had an opportunity to have this kind of discussion with anybody.
it.
Let's
Wow.
say kids, I tell them all about me, how great I
Hmm.
was. They tried it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Your own kids are a little different. They're
Yeah,
different. But like I said, a lot of people who will hear this, like I said, probably just excited as I am to just hear you and just hear a little bit about your journey here. So Kim, I appreciate it. Thank you.
yeah.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you, man.
No, likewise, you be well.
Yes, sir, brother.
All
Peace.
right. All right, peace.
Yep.
Didn't think I'd get the opportunity catch up with Kim Fisher here, but blessings they seem to come when you least expect them. So I really appreciate the time spent with him just to hear a little bit about his world and his journey here. And like I said, thanks to everybody who's checking on these here. Like I said, it's a true, true, true joy. So I'm gonna ride on out on that. With that being said, I put my hand over my heart. That means I feel you. Yeah.